One World War I destroyer's wreck was found after 100 years lost at sea. On December 6, 1917, the USS Jacob Jones departed from Brest, France, on a mission to return to Queensferry, Ireland. The Atlantic waters were cold and turbulent, and the shadow of the First World War loomed over every voyage. The seas were patrolled not only by Allied ships, but also by German U-boats, which posed a constant threat to naval and merchant vessels alike. For the men aboard the USS Jacob Jones, the day began as any other patrol mission, with watchful eyes scanning the horizon and routine checks of the ship's engines, weapons, and equipment. Yet beneath this ordinary morning, a grave danger awaited. As the ship sailed through the waves, the crew spotted a German U-boat approximately 1,000 yards away. Before any meaningful defensive action could be taken, the submarine fired a torpedo that cut through the water toward the destroyer. The projectile struck the starboard side of the Jacob Jones with devastating force, rupturing the fuel oil tank and detonating the depth charges stored on the vessel. Chaos and confusion erupted on the deck as the men realized the ship would not survive the initial strike. Within just 8 minutes, the USS Jacob Jones sank beneath the Atlantic waves, a tragic and sudden end to the vessel's service. The commander of the German submarine was Kapitan Hans Rose, a naval officer recognized for his skill and discipline in submarine warfare. In an extraordinary act of honor, Rose took 2 injured American sailors as prisoners, Seaman Second Class Albert de Mello and Ship's Cook Second Class Petty Officer John Francis Murphy. He then communicated with the American military base at Queensferry, providing the exact location of the wreckage and requesting that a rescue ship be sent, with the condition that the German submarine would be allowed 1 hour to safely withdraw. Thanks to this act of humanity, 46 American crew members were rescued from the icy Atlantic waters. This sinking marked the first time a U.S. Navy destroyer was lost to enemy action during World War I, leaving an indelible mark on naval history. For more than a century, the wreck of the USS Jacob Jones lay hidden beneath the ocean, its story preserved only in written records, photographs, and the memories of those who survived. It was not until August of 2022 that the ship was rediscovered by a team of divers known as Dark Star. The expedition had been meticulously planned, involving hours of research, historical mapping, and underwater reconnaissance. Dominic Robinson, one of the divers, recounted the discovery. "We found the vessel on our second day of diving to other wrecks in the area, but there had been many hours of research beforehand. On the day, 5 of us went into the water, and the ship was about 115 meters to the seabed and 110 meters to the top of the wreck. It was very clear that it was Jacob Jones immediately. You can see its name written on parts of the shipwreck. Among the artifacts that confirmed the identity of the vessel was the ship's bell, engraved with the name Jacob. Additional confirmation came from markings on the base of a gun mount located on the deck of the ship. The discovery provided a measure of closure for the families of those who perished, allowing them to finally connect the stories of their lost relatives to a tangible place at the bottom of the sea. The wreck, resting in silence for over 100 years, became a historical monument bearing witness to the bravery, loss, and humanity of its time. The USS Jacob Jones was one of 6 destroyers commissioned during the First World War by the United States Navy. It was named in honor of Captain Jacob Jones, an esteemed naval officer who had served with distinction during the First and Second Barbary Wars, as well as the War of 1812. Captain Jones had also commanded the USS Constitution, the first commissioned ship of the United States Navy, and his legacy was one of courage, strategic skill, and dedication to duty. The construction of the USS Jacob Jones was overseen by the New York Shipbuilding Corporation, with the ship being sponsored by Captain Jones' great-granddaughter, Mrs. Jerome Parker Crittenden. This personal connection imbued the vessel with a deep historical and familial significance, linking the heroism of the early 19th century to the service of sailors in the modern naval era. During its operational life, the USS Jacob Jones played a crucial role in rescuing survivors of attacks by German U-boats. It is credited with saving the greatest number of survivors during World War I before its own sinking. Among those saved were passengers and crew from the British steamship Valletta, which had been torpedoed in wartime waters. The destroyer also rescued 305 survivors from the British ship Orama, further solidifying its reputation as a vessel committed not only to military engagement, but also to humanitarian action amidst the chaos of war. These missions highlighted the bravery and selflessness of the crew, who risked their lives repeatedly to save others, even before the final tragedy struck their own ship. The story of the USS Jacob Jones exemplifies the broader context of naval warfare during the First World War. American destroyers were tasked with escorting convoys, protecting merchant ships, and engaging enemy submarines in a dangerous and uncertain environment. The German U-boat campaign sought to disrupt Allied supply lines, and the Atlantic Ocean became a theater of stealth, danger, and technological innovation. Within this environment, acts of chivalry such as Kapitan Rose's intervention stood out as rare moments of humanity amidst relentless conflict. These moments are remembered not only in historical accounts, but also in the moral and ethical lessons they offer about conduct in wartime. The rediscovery of the USS Jacob Jones by the Dark Star team adds another layer to its enduring story. Underwater exploration is a meticulous and challenging process, requiring specialized equipment, careful planning, and knowledge of ocean currents, visibility, and depth. The team's research prior to diving involved studying historical naval charts, wartime logs, and survivor testimonies to pinpoint the likely location of the wreck. Once underwater, the divers carefully examined the debris field, documenting artifacts, structural remains, and identifying features that confirmed the ship's identity. This level of detailed investigation demonstrates the importance of historical preservation and the continuing connection between the past and present through technological and scientific exploration. The discovery also resonates deeply with the families of the sailors who served aboard the USS Jacob Jones. For over a century, many families had only fragmented stories or second-hand accounts of their relatives' final moments at sea. The confirmation of the wreck's location provides tangible closure and allows descendants to honor their ancestors' courage and sacrifice. Historical preservation, in this way, serves not only academic or scientific purposes, but also emotional and cultural ones, linking generations and preserving memory. Beyond its immediate significance, the story of the USS Jacob Jones reflects broader themes of heroism, duty, and resilience in wartime. It showcases the interplay between human bravery and technological challenges, as ships face the dual threats of natural elements and enemy engagement. The vessel's service record exemplifies dedication to both mission objectives and the humanitarian imperative to save lives. The sinking, while tragic, also illustrates the unpredictable and perilous nature of naval warfare, where seconds could determine life or death. The legacy of Captain Jacob Jones, after whom the ship was named, also invites reflection. His naval career spanned pivotal moments in early American history, shaping the fledgling United States Navy and setting standards for professionalism and courage. By naming a World War I destroyer in his honor, the U.S. Navy connected its contemporary sailors to a lineage of naval tradition and valor. The personal sponsorship of the ship by his descendant further reinforced this symbolic link, underscoring the enduring influence of individual legacies in shaping collective memory and military history. As the USS Jacob Jones rests on the sea, the wreck serves as a silent witness to the human stories that unfolded during its brief but impactful service. Artifacts such as the ship's bell, the gun mount inscriptions, and structural remains convey not only technical details of naval architecture, but also the personal dimensions of life aboard a wartime destroyer. Through careful study and respectful exploration, historians and archaeologists can reconstruct these narratives, ensuring that the experiences of those who served are neither forgotten nor diminished by time. The First World War, often overshadowed by the larger conflicts of the 20th century, shaped the lives of millions and redefined naval strategy. U-boats transformed maritime combat, creating a constant and invisible threat to shipping. Ships like the USS Jacob Jones operated in this environment, balancing offensive operations, convoy protection, and rescue missions. Each engagement, whether successful or tragic, contributed to the evolving understanding of naval warfare, technology, and human endurance. In the present day, the rediscovery of the USS Jacob Jones provides an opportunity for education, remembrance, and reflection. Diving expeditions, archival research, and public history projects can bring the story to life for contemporary audiences. By sharing these narratives, historians and storytellers ensure that the sacrifices of sailors, the acts of honor by adversaries, and the broader historical context of World War are preserved for future generations. The ship's journey from construction through heroic service to its final resting place beneath the Atlantic waves encapsulates a century of history, memory, and enduring human courage. Ultimately, the tale of the USS Jacob Jones is more than a story of sinking and discovery. It is a story of valor, humanity, and the bonds between generations. From the courage of Captain Jacob Jones in the early 19th century to the bravery of sailors aboard the World War I destroyer, and finally to the dedication of modern explorers uncovering its remains, the narrative spans centuries. It reminds us that history is not merely a series of dates and events, but a living tapestry of human experiences, triumphs and tragedies preserved in memory, artifact and story. The discovery by the Dark Star team stands as a testament to the ongoing relationship between past and present, the sea and those who navigate it, and the enduring respect for those who served. It is a reminder that even after 100 years, stories of courage and loss can resurface, offering insight, closure, and inspiration to all who encounter them. The USS Jacob Jones, once lost to the depths, now has its place in history reaffirmed, its story ready to be told, remembered, and honored for generations to come.